We have to put more at stake if this is going to be a national priority, and it should be. The new Congress should set a goal of getting this job finished within 3 years, and it should enact the necessary legislation and appropriation to make that happen. Second, we should close the loopholes that permit guns to be sold without background checks, because there are far too many of such sales to the wrong people. Our bipartisan coalition of Mayors Against Illegal Guns has called for ensuring that at least at gun shows, every sale involves a background check. That's an important change because it's the worst and most dangerous example of no background check sales. And all Americans can join our nation's mayors by taking action at www.fixgunchecks.org. But if we are going to prevent guns from falling into the hands of violent criminals, the mentally unstable, and other already prohibited dangerous persons, we need a comprehensive national background check system with no loopholes. That can be accomplished by requiring that gun sales be checked by licensed gun dealers who will charge a minimal fee for the necessary paperwork. That will protect law-abiding gun owners and protect us all from those who violently, lawless, mentally unstable actions lead to death.
Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Friday, January 28th, 2011, and I'm Darko. Welcome everyone to part 3, the final part of this news bulletin for today. You just caught that video by Mayor Bloomberg, and I have to say, you know, that was the first time I watched it with you guys. One was that he looks a lot like Bush, the Bush family. I wonder if there's actual bloodline relation, but that wasn't my real point. My point was, did you see how nervous, did you notice how nervous he was? And he was like fumbling and stumbling on all his words. I was thinking about that, you know, subconsciously he knows that what he's saying is wrong. Most people that go to gun shows are you know, what you consider patriotic Americans. Even if you're not patriotic or you're not nationalistic and you're an anarchist, you still deserve the right to protect yourself. Even if you are mentally ill, you still have the right to protect yourself. Even if you're a felon, you still have the right to protect yourself. Now, I don't know where we're heading. Well, I think I know where we're heading as far as this country and society and our personal freedoms. And it is the opposite of what it was in the 1800s when we had a lot of freedom. Now, I'm not saying every individual race had the most freedom, and there are things that have gotten better and progressed, but there are some things that have digressed. And one of them is our personal freedoms. Dude, even in the 1800s, I mean, people were allowed to, if someone messed with you or killed one of your family members, usually it was the family members whose, you know, whoever it was that was killed was able to basically go and, you know, carry out capital punishment. But now you have to go through the state in order to do it, in order to carry out capital punishment. I actually, to be honest with you, I actually made a pretty good debate in college about being against the death penalty, and I've come like full circle. Well, now I've realized that the only reason it's like that is because the state needs to be the purveyor of morality. So that's why they have capital punishment, and that's why you can't take justice in your own hands, and you're called a vigilante. So, in other words, no, you know, he was saying that it was basically that these new laws, background checks and stuff at these gun shows are going to help gun owners, you know, registered law-abiding gun owners. Well, yeah, that's right, but you don't see criminals going to gun shows. You usually see legitimate, like I said, middle-class Americans going there to protect themselves or get weapons in order to hunt. Now, the problem is that there's people like him. That's why I said he was all nervous, because he knows he's lying and he knows the agenda that he's pushing, is that all these laws and background checks and what is it, little tracking on the round, each round and all that they want to do is basically is going to be used for people that are good people. Now he says get them into the wrong people. Unfortunately, the wrong people are you and I. See, the right people are the criminals. The right people are the terrorists, are the government. Those are the right people. Those are the good people. So I just wanted to stress that. Airport bans toy soldier's 3-inch rifle from plane because it is a safety threat. The crouching camouflage figure is most certainly armed, but few would say he was dangerous. Security officials disagreed, however, when he passed through a scanner at Gatwick Airport. Mock City rises at base for urban training. This is in Twentynine Palms. I was stationed there as a Marine shortly for a short period because I was in the aviation wing. And it says a 1,500 building Mock City has risen into the southern California desert. $170 million Marine Corps Urban Training Center at the Twentynine Palms military base, some 130 miles northeast of Los Angeles, is roughly the size of San Diego. And they said they're going to use mock cities and role players to prepare Marines and SEALs for urban terrain missions. And what do you think this is for? Oh, they're calling it Mojave Viper, just so you know the program. Excuse me. Well, basically, the Marines at Twentynine Palms, this specific base, were giving a survey of whether they would be willing to shoot Americans in like a martial law scenario, and the majority of them said yes. So that just gives you a pretty good idea of what's going on here. Like I said, this is for what? The wrong people, which is us. Blackwater suit tossed 7 years after grisly deaths. So after, say, a big collapse in the economy, martial law, whether it's an earthquake, a pandemic, it's going to be like Jericho. That show Jericho was very surreal. And you're going to see scumbags like Blackwater running around through little towns trying to institute either federal law or their own little personal rating, whatever they'll be doing for gas, fuel, food, and weapons, ammunition, that they'll be going town to town just stealing from people. And that's the people you have to be worried about. You don't have to be worried about, you have to be more worried about the government and private contractors in that type of scenario than you do raiders and your fellow citizens and that. Marines wrestle with alcoholism. Alcohol abuse continues to trouble the U.S. Marine Corps despite efforts to promote treatment. And, well, why don't you let them smoke some pot, guys, or let them do some other, I would say let them smoke some pot and calm down. CNN exclusive, FBI misconduct reveals sex lies in videotape. And I just want to say, I told you that I was in the aviation wing of the Marine Corps. I remember a gunner, Gunner Belt. He was a really hardcore Marine, and he was telling me about back in the day in the 70s how they used to be smoking joints under the jets. And you can say, well, that's not safe. Well, I don't think there was that many more jets going down back then than there are now. You still see helicopters and all that going down. And to be honest with you, when I worked in South Carolina in Beaufort, we were working anywhere from 10 hours to 16-hour days, and all over nights. And most of those guys and mechanics, they busted their ass. And so you can say, basically, well, back then, they probably worked less hours. So, what's going to cause more accidents? Lack of sleep or smoking? I don't know. But either way, there has to be some other way besides prescription drugs and self-medicating through alcohol. Researchers, ancient humans remain found in Israel. And next one up. Stone Age tools found in Crete prove man sailed to the sea at least 130,000 years ago. Archaeologists have discovered a set of tools that they believe prove that man sailed the seas tens of thousands of years earlier than previously thought. So a lot of stuff going on. Einstein gives humans 4 years after bee extinction. So, we all know about the growing bee phenomenon. They're basically disappearing. UN should prepare to face aliens. I've been meaning to get to this article since January 10th. Scientists are suggesting that world governments should prepare a coordinated action plan in case Earth is contacted by aliens. Here we go. Millions of Chinese stunned after government makes Obama UFO statement. And we'll move down here. Hundreds of millions of Chinese citizens remain stunned today after China's official government television news station, Xinhua, made their unprecedented January 4th announcement that the American president, Perry Soetoro, was preparing to announce to the world the existence of extraterrestrial races currently on our planet and fueled by what they called was an extraterrestrial disclosure race now developing between China and Asia. New secret UFO WikiLeaks cable revealed, and I guess they're not going to really show all that much because this is the most classified project that's going on in government. So it's way above the president. The president, you could just look at it this way. If there's a chart with security clearances, the president, he's not even really a president, he's just, I don't know what he is, he's a corporate puppet, but he's basically in the middle. He is in the middle of security clearances. So Obama only knows half of what all those people above him know. And so basically that's what this article is saying. They're not going to disclose that much, because if they do, well, this guy Assange is going to get killed. And honestly, I think the whole WikiLeaks thing is a psyop, and they're releasing information purposely to get people prepared. They're getting them conditioned, and basically they're getting them ready for what they plan on doing, which is to disclose the existence of either aliens, which are just regular beings like us from another planet, or extraterrestrials, which are interdimensional beings. So we'll see. We got Project Bluebeam with that is, I believe, is up and running. It is fully functional. Project Bluebeam. It's only a matter of time till they bust out with it. And then you have, of course, like birds and fish kill and all that stuff, and a possible big earthquake in the New Madrid fault line. So NASA-funded research discovers life built with toxic chemical. NASA-funded astrobiology research has changed the fundamental knowledge about what compromises all known life on Earth. So they said the microorganisms substitute arsenic for phosphorus in its cell components, and that's basically what they're saying. They're able to these microorganisms on Earth are able to thrive and reproduce using toxic chemicals such as arsenic. So NASA spots Earth-like planet. NASA spotted a tiny rocky planet about the size of Earth doing a speedy orbit of a star outside our solar system, but its scorching temperatures are too hot for life. And see, that doesn't make any sense. You say it's too hot for life, but then there's you just in the last article found that, you know, there could be life made out of arsenic. So how could you totally rule out that there's life on other planets? How do you know that they didn't just adapt to the environment and they can survive with little water or no water and little air, if any air? So it's like I said, man, it's a lot of this stuff is just, you got to be careful. But mystery green blob in space captured by Hubble. Here's the picture. I don't know if you guys seen that, but that is pretty spooky looking. And it says here, the Hubble telescope got its first peek at a mysterious giant green blob in outer space and found it strangely alive. The bizarre glowing blob is giving birth to new stars, some only a couple million years old, in remote areas of the universe where stars don't normally form. Next up is DNA molecules can teleport, Nobel winner says. Nobel Prize winning biologist has ignited controversy after publishing details of an experiment in which a fragment of DNA appeared to teleport or imprint itself between test tubes. And as of right now, the military has pretty much full capability, if not a tactical capability, of going invisible. So invisibility. Atlantis anomaly causes shutdown of Army weapons base. This is interesting, guys. It says, here we go. A Russian Space Forces report circulating in the Kremlin today says that one of their Cosmos satellites currently in orbit over North America has detected gamma-ray bursts of unprecedented proportions, end quote, emanating from the United States Army main weapon base Dugway, proving ground located in the state of Utah. So here we go. According to this report, since the formation of what is described as a, quote, magnetic vortex begin appearing in the Gulf of Aden. So here we go, guys. See how that all connects with the Gulf of Aden? I've mentioned this in my videos about basically a little mini black hole in the ocean in the Gulf of Aden. And then here we go. Army base shuts down after vial of world's most deadly nerve gas goes missing. So what do I think? I think this is disinfo. I think this is a cover story. I think it's a cover story for whatever they're trying to hide, whatever they were doing. They spooked the Russians and they tipped their hand. Justice Department seeks to have all web surfing tracked. Google comes under fire for secret relationship with the NSA. Like, we didn't know that. Memphis lawmen say high-profile visit to the protest was to keep peace. And basically a SWAT team and FBI showed up on Tuesday at a Memphis church. U.S. lawmaker aims to protect tipsters on extremists. Facebook-sponsored stories turn you into the ad. IBM to build Asia's largest cloud computing center. Internet kill switch will return. Says volunteers to be given speed cameras to help clock repeat offenders. Those are children, yes. Court rules that cops can read your text messages without a warrant. Mexico to become the first country to use iris scans on ID cards. White House birthers aren't rational. celebrity journalist. I never spoke to Hawaii government about Obama birth certificate. Court throws Emanuel off ballot. Illinois court will hear appeal, and court puts Emanuel back on ballot.